Son, I got a good one. I got a good one. Okay, folks. Well, we haven't. We this is a decent fish. Don't get me wrong, and we've caught a couple nice ones today, but nothing like yesterday. And so today I'm on Lake Okeechobee, and I'm fishing. This is a what's happening Roland. It's a Friday. In fact, it's the second or third Friday. It's the second week. It's April 11th. It's April 11th, Friday, April 11th. I'm gonna let this fish go. Now just drop it back in there. Okay, that's good. Now what we're doing today, we're doing a couple things. We're frogging, and right in this area, we're on the west wall of Lake Okeechobee. The water's way low right now. We're taking a frog. One of the things we're doing that's really worked yesterday. I caught a 7 on a frog. I caught a 6 yesterday on a frog. See, the water's shallow. It's only about that deep. And so we're taking the last couple of days. We've been taking the frog and throwing it out there, just coming along these heavy patches like that. Boy, we had some great big gorillas hit. In fact, we had all sorts of big 6 and 7 pound fish to bite yesterday. We had an 8, we had a 7, we had some beautiful fish. But then when the frog bite kind of went away, and the frog bite was really good. It was all good all morning. When the frog bite went away, what I did yesterday was I took this big flipping stick right here, and I rigged up a crawl worm, and this is a 1/2 ounce weight, and that's what I just caught that fish on, a 3-pounder, 4-pounder. I took the crawl worm right here, come into the side like this. That's a 3/0. It happened to be a 3/0 hook. I sometimes use a 4/0, and then just bury the hook right into the side of it like that. And that's only a 1/2 ounce weight, but it's 65-pound test braid. That 65-pound test laid braid and a big heavy duty rod. In fact, I have another rod stuck up inside this rod just to make it more stout. And the last fish I just happened to throw in there, and he was right there, and I just kind of lifted it up. Boom, he hit it. But what I'm doing basically is I'm looking for the heavy stuff. I'm looking for heavy grass, throwing it in, pitching it out there, let it sink to the bottom, lift it a couple times, and if they don't bite, I lift it out and I reel it to another spot. I look for some heavy grass again. I go, here's a nice little heavy little spot right there. I throw it in there. I let it sink down. They usually hit it. They usually hit this crawl worm as it sinks down. I only crank it a couple times. And I look around this way again. Any kind of heavy grass, the heaviest grass I can throw to, I just drop it down. It's only a couple feet deep, and so the fish hit right away. If he's there, it's the second it goes in the water, bam, you get him. But anyway, I came out here 3 or 4 days ago, and I took a swim jig and I started swimming it over the grass beds in here. Bam, I caught a 5-pounder. Bam, I caught a 4-pounder. Then I came back here the day before yesterday with this guy Spike Otten and his father Mike Otten, and Austin. I'm sorry, and we fished all this area. And yesterday was the best day that I've had bass fishing on Lake Okeechobee in 5 years. It was the best day I've had. I had nearly a 30-pound bag, and I lost one about 10 pounds on the frog. So we just had some beautiful 7.5-pound bass, 7-pound bass. The day before we had an 8.25-pound bass. We had another 6.5. So we just had beautiful fish all week, and it was just a banner day. So I told my guide party today, and I'm going to take the camera for just a second, and I'm going to talk about who we have here. This is Russell Layfield, and he's from Rhode Island. And I told Russell, I said, we're going to catch them better than we've ever caught them before. So we got out here this morning, and what happened? We've lost eight fish on a frog,
right,
and we haven't caught not even one. We've lost 8.
right.
And you just had one. You just had one blow up right here.
Or at least a
3 or 4
5-pounder.
pound, maybe a 5-pounder, and another good one. And then you hooked an alligator.
Right.
Had about a 200-pound
Right.
alligator on.
Right.
That was kind of fun. That was a big deal. So anyway, Russell, what do you think of this lake? Isn't it pretty?
I think it's great. It's beautiful, nice and calm.
Yeah. Well, sometimes it can get pretty rough.
Yeah.
See what they're doing? They're lowering this water right now. It's only a couple feet deep, and it's all this joint grass that you see everywhere. And this place yesterday was just alive with beautiful bass. and I'm looking around there for about a 5 acre area, and it was just so many big fish in here. Today, in fact, my son Scott came in, and when I was leaving at
Right.
3:30, I met him right out there. I brought him right in here, and he caught a 7, a 6, and a 5 right here, right where we're sitting right now, yesterday afternoon. Well, then I told Russell, I said, Russell, we're going to really catch him
Right.
today. It's going to be just a fantastic day. And what happened? We got out here, and it just didn't work out. It wasn't a bad day. So I'm just going to let you have this thing again and see what happens. And I'm just going to talk about all the good fishing we had. Now, also last week when it really blew hard, we didn't fish Lake Okeechobee. We went down into the Everglades and went down to about 25 or 30 miles down below Lake Okeechobee. There's a bunch of Everglades, and it's at one place is called a Holiday Park. In fact, there's a whole bunch of boats that went down there today, and what's down there is Oscars. There's thousands of Oscars, and they're a panfish that are about a pound or so. And some of the guys were catching like 100 a day because they take a little beetle spin and something like that. And they had just coolers full of them these last couple of days, so they're just really catching a lot of Oscars. So that's why there's not as many people here, because half of them are fishing for Oscars down at Holiday Park. But I told Russell, I said, we're going to definitely catch a bunch of big bass. Definitely. And sure enough, I came up here and I came to all these good spots where we lost an 8 here and a 7 there and a 5, and we caught an 8 and a 6 and a 3. I said, we're going to catch them today. We're going to catch all there is to it. And we haven't really caught them. We've lost 8 fish on a frog. We haven't caught the first fish on a frog. We've probably had a 6-pounder hit on a frog, and you had probably another 4 or 5-pounder hit on a frog. So the day's not over. It's just a little after 1 o'clock, and so we've got a couple good hours to fish. Maybe they'll turn on, because see, yesterday I'd fished frogs till about this time. I took this crawworm at this time about 1:30, and I started hitting all these heavy clumps right in here. Bam, we caught a 7.5 up there. Bam, we caught a 6 over here. We really caught some beautiful bass on the crawworm. And that was yesterday. Again, that was the best day I've had in maybe 5 years fishing here. And for whatever reason, I guess it's the spawn. You can't see the spawning beds. It's only this deep. I'll show you how deep it is. It's that deep right there. It's only, what's that, 2.5 feet deep? A little over 2 feet, not quite 3 feet deep. So they're spawning in here, but you can't see the beds. You don't know if there's a bed there or not. You can't see the bottom. So I'm just saying, probably they're spawning in these heavy little patches, because most of the fish we caught the last couple of days now have been in these thicker patches. So anyway, I'm going to take my motor and get the motor up, and I'll see what happens here. Let's see, I get this right here. This is my power pole, and that's really a big deal. If you notice, I got power poles here, and I have the power poles up right now. Okay, right now, and I'll just kind of just to show you again what I'm doing. I'm just going to go along here, and I'm just going to pitch this crawworm out there. Put the rod into my stick like this to get ready. Pump it maybe 2 or 3 times. Nothing happened. Next spot. And this is what we did yesterday. It was really working good. I put it on a tank, caught at least 10 bass in an hour just doing this right here. And a couple of them were really big. So we still have time to go. I think it's good bass. See, here's another little clump right here, really big stuff. And I just kind of drop it right in there like that. Ooh, right in that thick stuff. And just jig it once or twice. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. But see, I have the rod in my stomach right now, and I can really jack on them. And so we had some big old bass yesterday, and I jacked them out. There's a 65-pound braid, and I just make a little pitch like that, let it sink to the bottom, and just let it come up and down and up and down. Anyway, it's been a fantastic week, and not often you catch as many big bass as we had caught yesterday, and yet we missed equally as many as we caught, if not more. So Okeechobee's doing pretty good once you find the good area. This happens to be a spawning area right here. And it's kind of a community hole, and there's just a lot of fish here. Anyway, I hope I told you a few things about what's going on here at Lake Okeechobee. Lake Okeechobee's doing a little bit better. We've got the low water now. They're trying to grow grass. They're trying to get the hydrilla to grow. They're trying to get the eelgrass to grow. They're trying to get the other kind of grasses to grow besides this grass here. Out in the deeper water where it's kind of open water now, that used to be hydrilla. And the beautiful thing about that was we had grass shrimp, we had little crawfish, we had little copepods, we had all sorts of little minnows, and all that was a food chain for the larger fish. So all that open water had plenty of grass, but now it doesn't. So that's why we have low water right now. They're trying to get the grass to grow again, and maybe we'll bring this lake back again. As the population of fish is a little low right now because of the weather like that. So anyway, that's what's happening right now. Hey, listen, I got some really good advertisers, people like Frog Tugs and the Force Bass Pro Shop, and my Spike It people, and I got a bunch of really good guys that are out there, and we're they just love to hit when you hit the likes button. That's a big deal. It's I do a lot of work with these YouTube videos. So I hope I've taught you a few things and showed you a few things about Lake Okeechobee, the frog fishing, and the jig fishing. We'll see you again soon. Hey, thanks for watching.